So let's start by assigning the correct answers to each of these questions. So first question is that we should pick the IUPAC nomenclature for the compound above amongst the options. So I've drawn the same compound here for us to try and name it. So first things first, we'll consider the longest carbon chain by counting. So if we start from here, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 carbons. If we start from here, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. If we start from here, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So since the linear chain is the longest chain, and so we can easily take the linear chain instead of the branched one. So now the second step is to assign numbers to the longest carbon chain. So this is our longest chain. So these two that are not part of the longest chain are the substituents. Now let's assign numbers to them. So if we start counting from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can also decide to start counting from here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, in both cases, we are going to consider the number on the carbon that has the substituent. Now, taking this counting into consideration, the first substituent, which is the first methyl, is on carbon 2. The second methyl is on carbon 4. If we were to use this numbering, the one under, first methyl is on carbon 3, and the second methyl is on carbon 5. So obviously, 2 plus 4 will give us 6. That's for the top. Then for the bottom, 3 plus 5 will give us 8. So obviously, the top counting is the lowest. So we are going to use the top counting. So easily we can name this as, now the prefix first, followed by the word root, then followed by the suffix. Now looking at this compound, it has only single bonds. And like we said in the other video, if it's only riddled with single bonds will make it an alkane. If it's double bonds, it will be an alkene, and if it's triple bond, it will be alkyne. So our prefixes will be these two substituents. Then we'll note their numbers. So there will be 2, 4, di, meaning 2, dimethyl, meaning 2 methyls. Then that would be the prefix. Now the word root, since we have 6 carbons in the longest carbon chain, the word root will be hex. And since we have single bonds, the suffix will be ane. So it's going to be 2,4-dimethyl hexane, which is option D in the question. Now let's move to another example. Now looking at this example, it's the same thing that we're required to do, and the options have been given as well. So I've redrawn it here for us to be able to number and count together. So the first things first is that we look for the longest continuous chain. 1, let's count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So like this is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's another 6. We can start from here to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we count in all the possible directions, we'll find out that 6 is the longest carbon chain. So the highest number of carbons is 6 in the chain. So let's consider this chain because it's easier for us. So let's circle our longest carbon chain. Now this is the longest carbon chain. It contains 6 carbons, and these are the substituents because they are not part of the carbon chain. They are not part of the longest carbon chain. These are the substituents. This is a methyl substituent. This is an ethyl since it's 2 carbons. This is C2, 1, 2, then H5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then this is another methyl, CH3. So let's start our numbering. We can start numbering from here or from here. Now let's see. Let's start from here at first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also, let's start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now let's look at the position of the substituents. For the top numbering, the substituent, this methyl is on carbon 2, this ethyl is on carbon 4, and this methyl is on carbon 5. So it's 2, 4, and 5. Now for the bottom numbering, this ethyl is on carbon 2, this methyl is carbon 2, this ethyl is on carbon 3, and this methyl is on carbon 5. Now if we add up each, this will give us 5 plus 4, 9, 10, 11, while this will give us 8, 9, 10. So this is the lowest. So we are going with the lowest numbering. So now the prefix here will be, and another thing that we're going to consider here is that alphabetical order. Ethyl and methyl, if we are to write it in alphabetical order, E comes before M. So we are going to name in the prefixes, we are going to name ethyl before methyl. Now watch. So it's going to be 3 ethyl, 2, 5 dimethyl. The longest carbon is 6, so the word root will be hex, and since it's riddled with single bonds, it will be ane. So it's 3 ethyl, 2, 5 dimethyl hexane. That's the name of this compound. Now mind you, we're not considering the di in the alphabetical order. We are considering only E and M of the methyl, not the di. So pay attention to that. And so that is option B, I suppose. Or no. Option A is the correct. It's the one that matches our own naming. So let's go to the next example. Now, for this compound, I've drawn it below. I've redrawn it below for us to be able to see it clearly. So they have a CH3 CH2 3 times, that is in parentheses and 3, then CH and C2H5. So I've redrawn it here, CH3, the CH2 will be 3 times, so I drew it 3 times, then CH, then C2H5, then like that. So let's count the longest carbon chain together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because this is C2. Now let's count this way also. This is 3, because it's C3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So obviously this is the longest chain. So let's circle the longest chain. So this is the longest chain, and this is the only substituent. Now, if we start our numbering from here, this will be 3, 1, 2, 3, because this is C3, 4, so this carbon will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But if we start our numbering from here, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So obviously we are going to use the top numbering, because the top numbering gives the lower number to this substituent. The substituent is ethyl, and for the top numbering is on carbon 4. But for the bottom numbering, it is on carbon 5. For this bottom numbering, the ethyl is on carbon 5. So easily we can name this. The prefix is ethyl, and it's on 4. So we will say 4 ethyl. The word root, since it's 8 carbons, is oct, and since it's riddled with single bond, it will be octane. So the correct name would be 4-ethyl octane, which is option C here. Let's move to the next example. So now for this example, the same thing is required of us. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're trying to see which is the longest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the linear one is the longest. So let's consider the linear one. So let's circle the linear chain since it's the longest continuous. Now, these are the substituents. The 2 methyls are the substituents. So it's going to be a dimethyl since there are 2. If it's 3 methyls, it will be trimethyl, etc., etc. So now let's name it. If we start naming from here, this will be 1, 2, 3. So the methyl will be on 2 and on 3. But if we start naming from here, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The methyl will be on 4 and 5. So obviously we should start naming from here. Let's start counting from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's write the name. It will be 2, 3 dimethyl. Then since it's a 6 carbon compound, it will be hex. Then since it's double bonded, since it's a single bonded compound, it will be ane. So hexane, A-N-E. And so that's option B. Yeah, that's option B. So let's move to another example. So now, this is a double bond. A double bonded compound. So obviously we know our suffix will be in and not in. So that's the first thing. And all the options have in as their suffixes. That's interesting. So let's count together as well. First things first, we'll determine our longest carbon chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also 6, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the longest. So we will consider this chain. So these are the 2 substituents that we have. Now, if we start naming, and okay, now if you have a double bond, you will start naming from the side that is closest to the double bond. If it is a double bonded compound, this is an alkene. we will start naming. Unlike the ones we've been doing before, we were naming from the side that was closest to the substituents. But now we're going to name from the side that is closest. We're going to number rather from the side that is closest to the double bond. So if we start numbering from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, the double bond will be on 4. But if we start numbering from here, it will be 1, 2, 3. The double bond will be on 3. So obviously we are going to adopt this numbering: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now the substituents will go like something like the first methyl is on carbon 3 and the second methyl is on carbon 6. So we will have 3, 6. Since there are 2 methyls, we will have dimethyl. Then our word root will be hept. Since it's 7, then the double bond is on the third carbon. 1, 2, 3. The double bond is on the third carbon, so we'll call it hept 3 in. So 36 dimethyl hept 3 in. That's option D here. That's option D here. So let's move quickly to another example. Yeah. Okay. So this is another example. Obviously it has a double bond, so it will be an alkene. So I've redrawn it here for us to count together. You notice that there are chlorine substituents here. They are not only alkene. These are not only alkyl substituents. So we have halogen substituents as well. So we'll take note of that. Now, so let's count the longest carbon chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5. Let's count from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think 6 is the longest. So if 6 is the longest, this is our longest carbon chain. Yeah. So we said we were going to number whenever we have a double bond. We will give the numbering. We'll make sure we number close to the double bond to give the lowest number to the double bond. So if we start from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, the double bond will be on 4. But if we start from here, it will be 1, 2. So double bond will be on 2. So obviously we will start naming from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now our substituents are this. This is our substituents. This, and this. The hydrogens are not substituents. Right? They are not prefixes. So it's only the alkyls and the halogens. And mind you, this is not part of the substituent. It's part of the longest carbon chain. So we will name in alphabetical order here also, since chloro and methyl are the substituents. C comes before M in alphabetical order. So we're going to say 2, 3 dichloro 4, 4 dimethyl. Since it's a 6 carbon compound, it will be hex, and since it has a double bond on the second carbon, it will be hex 2 in. So that would be the name of our compound. 2,3-dichloro-4,4-dimethyl hex 2-ene. So let's check. That's option C. So let's move to another example and see. So this will be the last example that we're going to treat. So this is another compound with a double bond. So now let's count together again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in all directions it's 4. So we can assume this is our longest carbon chain. Then since this is the side closest to the double bond, we give it 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these are our substituents, just 2. So this is quite easy to name. This should be 3, 3 dimethyl. Then since it's a 4-carbon compound, it will be boots. Then the double bond is on the first carbon, but 1-ene. So let's see which of the options. I think it's option C here. 3,3-dimethyl but 1-ene. So with this question, we've come to the end of this very short class. I hope you've gained from it. Please give me your feedback in the comment boxes. Thank you.